Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire by Steve Perry. Prologue.
He looks like a walking corpse,
Shizor thought.
like a mummified body dead 1,000 years. Amazing he is still alive, much less the most powerful man in the galaxy. He isn't even that old. It is as if something is slowly eating him.
Shizor stood 4 meters away from the Emperor, watching as the man who had long ago been Senator Palpatine moved to stand in the hologram field. He imagined he could smell the decay of the Emperor's worn body. Likely that it was just some trick of recycled air run through dozens of filters to ensure there was no chance of any poison gas being introduced to it. Filtered the life out of it, perhaps giving it a dead smell. The viewer on the other end of the hololink would see a close-up of the Emperor's head and shoulders, of an age-ravaged face shrouded in the cowl of his dark Zuid cloth robe. The man on the other end of the transmission, light years away, would not see Shizor, though Shizor would be able to see him. It was a measure of the Emperor's trust that Shizor was allowed to be here while the conversation took place. The man on the other end of the transmission, if he can still be called that. The air swirled around inside the Imperial chamber in front of the Emperor, coalesced, and blossomed into the image of a figure down on one knee. A caped humanoid, biped, dressed in black. Face hidden under a full helmet and breathing mask. Darth Vader. Vader spoke.
What is thy bidding, my master?
If Shizor could have hurled a power bolt through time and space to strike Vader dead, he would have done it without blinking. Wishful thinking. Vader was too powerful to attack directly.
There is a great disturbance in the Force.
I have felt it.
We have a new enemy, Luke Skywalker.
Skywalker. That had been Vader's name a long time ago. Who was this person with the same name? Someone so powerful as to be worth a conversation between the Emperor and his most loathsome creation. More importantly, why did Shizor's agents not uncover this before now? Shizor's ire was instant, but cold. No sign of his surprise or anger would show on his imperturbable features. The Fallen did not allow their emotions to burst forth as many inferior species. No, the Fallen ancestry was not fur but scales, not mammalian but reptilian, not wild but coolly calculating. Such was much better, much safer.
Yes, my master.
Vader continued.
He could destroy us.
The Emperor said. Shizor's attention was riveted upon the Emperor and the holographic image of Vader kneeling on the deck of the ship far away. Here was an interesting news indeed. Something the Emperor perceived as a danger to himself. Something the Emperor feared.
He's just a boy. Obi-Wan can no longer help him.
Obi-Wan. That name Shizor knew. He was among the last of the Jedi Knights, a general, but he'd been dead for decades, hadn't he? Apparently Shizor's information was wrong. If Obi-Wan had been helping someone who was still a boy, his agents were going to be sorry. Even Shizor took in the distant image of Vader and the nearness of the Emperor, even as he was aware of the luxury of the Emperor's private and protected chamber at the core of the giant pyramidal palace. He was also able to make a mental note to himself. Somebody's head would roll for the failure to make him aware of all this. Knowledge was power. Lack of knowledge was weakness. This was something he could not permit. The Emperor continued.
The Force is strong with him. The son of Skywalker must not become Jedi.
Son of Skywalker. Vader's son. Amazing.
If he could be turned, he could become a powerful ally.
Vader said. There was something in Vader's voice when he said this. Something Shizor could not quite put his finger on. A longing, a worry, a hope.
Yes. He could be a great asset,
The Emperor said.
Can it be done?
There was the briefest of pauses.
He will join us or die, my master.
Shizor felt a smile, though he would not allow it to show any more than he allowed his anger to play. Vader wanted Skywalker alive. That was what had been in his tone. Yes, he had said the boy would join them or die, but the latter part was obviously meant only to placate the Emperor. Vader had no intentions of killing Skywalker, his own son. That was obvious to anyone. who was as skilled in reading voices as Shizor. He had not gotten to be Dark Prince, Underlord of the Black Sun, the largest criminal organization in the galaxy, merely on his formidable looks. Shizor didn't truly understand the force that sustained the Emperor and made Vader so powerful, save to know that it certainly worked somehow. But he did know that it was something the extinct Jedi supposedly mastered. And now, apparently, this new player had tapped into it. Vader wanted Skywalker alive, had practically promised the Emperor he would deliver him alive, and converted. This was most interesting indeed. The Emperor finished his communication and turned back to face him.
Now, where were we, Prince Shizor?
The Dark Prince smiled. He would attend to his business at hand, but he would not forget the name Luke Skywalker.